if there's turnover, right? So every time there's turnover, that's costing money. Well, instead of losing that money on the back end because of the turnover, how about investing that money on the front end to retain them? Hello, welcome to another Playbook, Insurance Dudes. And we're going to be looking at some hiring gems that I think you need to have in your back pocket. As agents, it's important to have a constant stream of hiring candidates as it is to have leads for new business acquisitions. So let's think about that hiring pipeline as a funnel of its own. Okay, we talk all the time about having the telefunnel, about buying the leads, putting the dials on those leads, then filtering down, making the contacts, and so on and so forth. There's that same kind of funnel applies to hiring, and this is why if you've talked with other agents like I have and commiserated with them about the woes of hiring, the woes of bringing on a team, of keeping people and having that turnover. The important thing is to recognize that exists, right? Once we understand that exists, then we just have to solve that problem. We can't make it go away by complaining about it, but what we can do is make the situation better by keeping our funnel full, right? We need to look at an ROI on hiring too, because if we could make somebody stay longer by providing them more opportunity, more leads, telemarketers, all that kind of thing, ways for them to get the wins by doing more quotes, then at the same time, we could think of ways that we need to retain them so that they're going to stay, and then think about the value of doing so, right? Multiple places around the internet, I've read that the cost of turnover should be calculated as about 1.5 times a person's annual salary. So if you have a producer, you're paying them $3,000 a month. You're looking at north of $50,000 in expense if there's turnover, right? So every time there's turnover, that's costing money. Well, instead of losing that money on the back end because of the turnover, how about investing that money on the front end to retain them? And at the same time, to be very, very clear about having a hiring funnel ongoing. Now, here's a few things that we found over the years that have helped out a lot. And more recently, the kind of strategies that we're doing and what we're doing to make sure that we have a constant flow of candidates. This is consistency too. In the same way that you have to bring in leads every day, not cut that off, we have to do that with potential candidates. Now, let's think about ads, right? There's different services, there's all these different things to get people candidates, and I think I look at candidates. The initial step, the front of funnel, is resumes, right? That's the first thing. So there's multiple places where you could do resume searches and sift through different keywords. Be creative. Come up with positions that you think people would be good from. Especially if you're hiring locally, or one step bigger, maybe part of your state or your whole state. You have bigger constraints in the number of people, the number of candidates that are available. So you want to be able to open up your criteria as much as possible. Just searching for your carrier's name and licensed is going to really limit the number of people that you have coming into your candidate pool. And we don't want that to happen because it is a numbers game, right? We're going to have 60 resumes. From the 60 resumes, we'll end up with 20 people that we make contact with, set up a number of interviews, and very smaller amount will show up to that. Now, there's other ways to fill it. You could use staffing companies like Team Hired or other ones that are going to help to fill up the pipeline on the front end, but you still have to manage that middle part. You're still going to have to run interviews in the office, but it's a really good idea to dedicate a few hours of the week to all of these activities so that it's always something that is finding people that are available. The likelihood of us finding that perfect person at the same time that they're looking and we need them is very low. So the premise is to consistently be doing it, because then we're going to come across great candidates. It's even better when we don't need them. Imagine finding the perfect candidate. We don't need them, but they're going to pay for themselves because they get results. Well, bring them on, right? Find the space, make the investment in the agency to get those results. Another thing that's really important: people love training, right? If it's going to actually help them advance in their position. So we want to make sure, as the agency owner, that's one of our real important roles, is to coach and train. Whether that's right at the beginning, we need to make sure that there's a process, so it's not just a mess. For a long time, it was just a mess. Somebody come on, we go, I don't know, Gina's going to show you. Instead of that, we have to have it real organized. Make them understand that it's a business. This is a great place to be. We have a culture. You want to have all these things so that they're excited to be there. And then ongoing training. We do daily meetings. We do daily sales meetings. It's imperative with sales folks that we're constantly honing their skill, because if left alone, there's that potential for getting lazy, for becoming an order taker instead of really helping people by identifying their needs and then solving those problems. So those are some really good tips that we use and we've instituted in our agency. And I hope that is super helpful. If you have any ideas that are working for you, please feel free to jump in the Facebook group, Insurance Dudes, and post them there. And we will be happy to answer any questions, or would love to see some other strategies. So thank you. We'll talk soon.